Welcome to another edition of Carnivore Bites. I'm your host, Jeff Sherman, along with the esteemed Dr. Eric Lopkin. Dr. Lopkin, I'm going to let you take the lead, as it should be, and you have something to share with our audience on Biden and his amazing intellect.
Yeah, I am absolutely amazed at the stupidity of some of his decisions. And I understand that they're not all guided by him, but some of these...
Not all? Whoa. What percentage? I would say...
I'd say
90%. Zero.
I'd say 90% of them have nothing to do with him.
I would say less than that, but that's fine.
The other 10% is him just wanting to eliminate everything that Trump did. But,
there you go.
But it absolutely kills me when he thinks, and quite frankly, what the radical left think.
Whoa.
Idea.
When he thinks, is that not an oxymoron right there?
Well, it is. But the radical left has thought about this stuff, and they think this is a good idea, and they're actually doing so much damage, it's not even funny. And one of the big things that they've been pushing, and Biden has been touting, is getting rid of all gas-powered cars by 2035. Now, I understand they're trying to do this. It's all about climate change. It's all about the environment. But what they have failed to take into consideration is that the creation of the batteries for electric cars and the disposal of the batteries, because they don't last forever, cause more environmental damage than having a gas-guzzling car on the road for 30 years.
But you're giving them so much more credit. They never really, I'm sorry to say, worked a day in the real world. It's all theoretical. Theory is like, yes, and someday you're going to be an astronaut. Yeah, and that's all great. It's all theoretical. And one thing that Dr. Lopkin, many of the things that he said, but more recently, is I've actually thought about and talked my friends and associates off the ledge on. This thing's coming to a crashing halt within a year.
I think it will, because this is unsustainable. And, now, not just the environmental impact of these idiotic decisions, but the rare earth materials needed to build the batteries that they're so gung-ho on for these electric vehicles all come from China. So they're not only damaging the environment, but they're killing the U.S. economy and handing it over to China.
Do they really care? They've been doing that for years. These are the same intelligentsia that started all of this. Why would it be any different?
It is absolutely amazing. And, we talk a lot about the media coverage and how the media just whitewashes what the Democrats are doing. It's gotten worse because now Project Veritas has a whistleblower, a U.S. Postal Service person who has come out and stated that, yes, the election was fixed with these mail-in ballots. The New York Times has a front page story talking about how this whistleblower has recanted his story. The whistleblower has not recanted his story. In fact, he has doubled down and stated over and over again that, yes, he saw this happen.
Well, Dr. Lopkin, I think for our listeners, I think the most, let's just say, beneficial point would be, where does this go? And you're the one that's going to lead that off. Where does all this stuff go? I have my own opinion. I'm going to hold my powder till you go.
Well, I mean, this is basically going to the point where we are a banana republic. We do not have free elections anymore. The Democrats have stolen an election. They have fraudulently accused the past president, President Trump, of wrongdoing with no evidence on several occasions. Now they're moving forward to impeach him for a second time. And the fact that we do not have a fourth estate willing to stand up to the Democrats, in fact, they're essentially in the Democrats' pocket.
Yeah.
We have lost our democracy.
I think it's a chilling thought. My only counter to that, listening to your retort, is that I believe that in the end it's going to backfire because it's a bridge too far. And people in the Midwest and other places, it's just too much. They overstepped.
They did. And you are going to see in 2022, I think, a massive red wave taking back the House and the Senate.
What lesson do the Democrats learn from that?
Nothing.
I think
I don't think they learn it.
Joe Manchin is the beneficiary of that. I think the whole AOC squad, blah, 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 that might be their Waterloo.
You know, I hope so, but based on the Democrats' behavior in the past, I honestly don't believe they'll learn a single lesson. When Barack Obama was elected the first time and the Democrats controlled both the House and the Senate, Nancy Pelosi moved forward with a couple of bills that she wanted to get passed, and they didn't get passed. When Joe Biden was elected and the Democrats controlled the House and the Senate, Nancy Pelosi introduced the exact same two bills. They do the same thing over and over again, which, as Albert Einstein said, is the definition of insanity.
Agreed. Any final thoughts, Dr. Eric Lopkin?
Well, you know, we're going to be coming up on the impeachment, and I think this is going to be very interesting because Trump has stated that he wants to use this impeachment trial to blow the lid off of what the Democrats had been doing during his presidency.
Oh, God. Do you think could he actually testify?
I don't know if he's planning on testifying. I don't know what evidence he's going to be presenting, but this is actually why he switched his legal team, because the previous legal team just wanted to get him off from impeachment, and Trump said that's not enough. Trump is aiming for complete vindication. Whether he can do it or not, I don't know. But what it does do is it slows down the Democrats' agenda because the Senate can't act on anything. They can't approve Biden's officials. They can't pass legislation while the impeachment is going on. And the longer Trump drags it out, the less the Democrats are going to be able to do in Biden's first 100 days. So you're going to look at 100 days and go, oh, they accomplished nothing.
And 100 days, just for our listeners, is everything. Because things happen at lightning speed when you're into the first year, looking at the second year, and let's say things aren't going well, you're almost a lame duck, correct?
That's how it works, yes.
Thank you, Dr. Lopkin, and we're going to have a fun show. We're talking to an entrepreneur on Friday, but also he's a big aficionado on sports, and obviously we're closing in on the Super Bowl, so that should be all good.
Sounds good. You can join us Friday at 4 o'clock at blogtalkradio.com/Carnivore Radio.
Thank you, Dr. Lopkin, and thank our listeners. We'll be back on Friday with our live show.
See you then.
You've been listening to Carnivore Bites, part of the Exvadio Podcast Network. You can catch us every week on carnivoreradio.com, exvadio.com/podcasts, the Apple Podcast Store, Google Play, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and wherever you find podcasts.